Hey everyone, Jim T. Graham with RC Groups. We have a cool show this week. We're joined by Mean Joe Vermillion, and we talk about some cool new RC topics. We talk about last week's interview with Hobbyking. There are new products from E-flite, all kinds of stuff. And so that's coming. I also want to take a minute and say thank you to CNHL, our podcast sponsor. They reached out and we appreciate it. So go check them out. There'll be a link to them at the down below in the description. You can check that out. Meanwhile, Jason Cole, Mean Joe, and I just have a good time. We talk about RC, and that's what it's all about. So let's go do it. Hey everyone, I'm Jim T. Graham with RCGroups.com, Flying Giants, and Heli Freak. If you didn't know, all are our partner sites. We all take turns, going around, looking in, seeing what's going on. We're joined today by not only Jason Cole. What's happening, Jason?
Hey, I'm laughing because we've been watching the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, and you were like, with RC Groups.
Nice. Well, speaking of pirates, we got Mean Joe Vermillion.
Right.
What's happening, Mean Joe?
How's it going, guys? What's happening?
One day we'll tell everyone how Mean Joe got his name in a bar in Toledo, Ohio. It's a story not really fit for the internet, so we won't talk about it at all.
Anybody that's paying attention already knows that story, but it's still, I talk about it all the time.
Exactly. And I'm also going to bust out, I'm Jim T. Graham, a.k.a. Billy Hale. We were saying some people don't know that these two people are the same person. And I'm not going to go into that story either because it's probably not fit for the internet. I'll probably make a cassette recording of the whole story, and then I'll just mail out cassettes of that whole thing. So
you should do it on 8-track. If you're going to do it on 8-track.
You got to time it just
right. To print them on LPs.
There you go.
Oh, speaking of vinyl, and I'm going to go ahead and say it because in the past, I might not bring up personal life, but I really think that we're here to not only learn about RC news, but to just interact with each other. I mean, Joe, you may not know this. Did you know I'm in a band?
Yes, sir. I did know that.
Well, the vinyl, in fact, I got a text this morning. The vinyl was pressed for our first single, and the guy who paid for it, not me, said, hey, you could go get one today if you wanted to. If I run to the other side of town, I can get vinyl of our first single, Cast Out to Sea. And I won't bore anyone with the details, but I have like behind the screen 38 guitars. And my daughter said, you should build a really weird ambient pedal steel guitar. And I did. And then I played it over this guy's songs. He and I were in a band in LA in the 90s, almost had a record deal. I almost had a whole different life. I might not even be alive today if that were to happen. And he's like, you got to be in the band, man. So I got on all the tracks. We rehearsed, and it seems like we're going to do shows. Going on
tour, man.
Well, so
you've
we
have a Nashville for how many decades, and you finally making it.
And the cool part is I get to be as weird as I want. I always felt like in Nashville I wouldn't fit in any band because they'd want me to be like an expert at something. Mm-hmm. And really, I'm not an expert at anything. I'm just pretty good at it. It's a long story to say. Our single has released, and we have a video on the internet. It's the name of the band is Chapel of Roses, and the song is Cast Out to Sea. It's not what you think. I'll stop here. But Mean Joe, everyone, when I say I'm in a band, I think they think that it's a Hank Williams 3 honky tonk band.
Yeah. Well, we've hung out at Joe Nall, actually. I played guitar for a long time and kind of got out of it over the years because I've been so busy. I haven't had time to practice. But we hung out at Joe Nall with you when you had your guitar and sat there and chilled. So, yeah, I knew all about that.
And I forced Jason to hear it.
Yeah, it's true. A lot. Since we're doing self-promotion stuff, guys, I've got an essential oil business where you can get like natural herbal healing. I'm just kidding.
I was like, wow.
I was like, wow. That was like, what?
Nice. I think that the thing about the band that makes it non-commercial is that I'll make maybe 75 cents off of this whole ordeal.
Yeah,
so
nice.
It's not like I'm gonna
retire.
It's
not nothing.
Hey, 75 cents is 75 cents, right?
Right. What can you buy with that? All right. We do have some news. I want to give some Mean Joe news. Mean Joe, I want you to know the past week was crazy. And I thought, I wonder if Mean Joe thinks that I wasn't serious about this. But I pitched an idea to Joe. And I said, I don't know, if you were to drop the banner behind Joe's head, you would see 9,000 giant scale aircraft in various forms of being built. And I said, man, what if we did a weekly bit where you just gave a tip based on something you were working on at the time? And he was like, I love it. So we're going to do it.
Heck yeah, that'll be awesome. Always got stuff going. I've got several projects sitting here, just trying to get caught up from being down for a while. But we're the shop is definitely rolling. We've got lots of stuff coming out here real quick.
And all we have to do is you tell me. I could do it on the same day of every week, or we could do it randomly. Whatever works for you works for me.
Yes, sir. Whatever you need.
All right. I love it.
It'll be a lot of fun.
You can learn from Mean Joe, who's been doing this a long time. Even before he was mean, he was flying aircraft. It's should we jump straight into the news?
What do we got this week?
Oh, wow. There we go.
Nice.
All right. So we're going to start here. First, I'm going to say I don't want to talk about DJI, but Jason Cole said it's important stuff. So
it's a big deal. It's the new Avata 2 and Goggles 3 and RC Motion 2 or 3, and then even a new FPV remote controller is out today. It's a big deal. It's things awesome. I've got the original Avata. I love it. This one's probably going to find its way in my hands at some point as well. But
so this is a tiny. And how much does such a thing cost?
900 to 13, depends on the combo you get.
That's not bad with the combo.
Yeah, it's
really not that terrible.
Yeah, if you're looking for an FPV drone, getting started, this thing is awesome.
I haven't actually had a time to try this yet, but I've heard a lot of people really like the control with the motion, the hand motions.
Yeah, it's okay.
Is that the only way to fly it? That's not.
No, you can use a regular. You have to buy a $200 remote to use with it. The remote 2, the one that I use for my Avata, does not work. Is currently not compatible. It may change, but they have a new remote that you can purchase that'll work with it. And the motion controller is good. It's functional. It makes kind of difficult shots easy, but seasoned RC pilots that have flown FPV are still going to prefer the regular controller.
Now, let me ask you this: will my Pro 2 remote work with this, or is it
not currently? No. And you can't buy this without the new motion controller currently. It either comes with it or it comes with it in a combo. The combo is basically a bag and more batteries. Yeah, so you get it. You just get it because they got to get rid of them.
So Jason and I were around, and I'm sure you too, Joe, back when all this started, and it was complex and a lot of stuff barely worked and blah, blah, blah. And I have always had it on my list to get an up-to-date DJI unit that you could carry with you, like if you were going somewhere. And I know, Jason, this was years ago, where you could pull your car over and put it on the roof of your car and fly. This isn't a foreign country, 4 miles out and 4 miles back.
Yeah.
And that is remarkable, as long as you do it legally. But is this unit that kind of a deal?
Yeah, you can. It's got super long range. Again, it's the new 04 whatever transmission technology. So it's incredible. They're the best drone company in the world right now and have been for a while. But they're innovating. They're doing cool stuff, and yeah, it's just awesome.
Yeah, I really, really enjoy I got the latest Mavic with all the bells and whistles, and I use that thing constantly, not only with my work with Legend Hobby, but I do a lot of stuff for campgrounds, and I just, the seamlessness of the way that stuff comes out of the box is crazy.
That's awesome.
Which is why our Bamboo printers are so awesome, because their engineers are the guys that left and started Bamboo printers, and it's ridiculous how easy that stuff is to use.
I need a printer too, so maybe the
Bamboo
is next.
If you're gonna get a printer, Jim, the Bamboo is definitely the way to go. It's printing right now, so
awesome. I may ping you on that.
It's truly plug and play.
I'm getting a little lag here. I'm going to go ahead and blame my machine, but the big news is my son actually has a job. And he said, Dad, I need a new computer. And I bought the last one for him. And we all run Alienware in the house because they're fast and I trust them. And I said, I thought, how much is this going to cost me? And he said, and I've saved up enough to go buy it. So I'm just going to go get it now. I was like, wow, yes. Unbelievable.
Good for him. That's awesome.
And I know his computer that I bought him is better than my computer times 2. And I'm like, well, what are you going to do with your other I think it's an R8. And he said, do you want it? So my son's giving me his Alienware computer. So now I'm going to have an upgraded system over here. It's going to be
living
awesome.
the dream.
Everyone in the news will benefit from this.
There you go.
Hopefully. I'm going to zoom this in some more.
So another UMX plane from E-flite.
Yeah. Tell me what it reminds you of, Jason Cole.
What do you mean? An F-86? I don't know where you're going with this.
From Hobby Lobby days.
Yeah.
A plane that looked exactly like this.
We had a $99 EDF. It was bigger. It wasn't a micro, but yeah. F-86. Those were awesome.
Yes, and they made an awesome sound. So here's some video.
Right?
I have it turned down. It's just rock and roll music. Well, we know if it's from E-flite and Horizon, it's got to be good, and it's got a nice gyro, and it'll do all the things that you want it to do.
Yeah.
So I have the original one, and I've had it for years, and I still fly that thing. It flies amazing.
Yeah. Do you know what's different on this one, Joe? Did they update?
I don't. I haven't read the article yet, but I know my original one is. I love it. I get it out and fly it. In the evenings when we're just chilling. That's a perfect little airplane to get out and fly.
Yeah.
The nostalgia I have for this plane is where I grew up in Sherman, Texas. We had a VFW, and they had a F-86, a real one, on a pole out front. So I was a little kid, and couldn't believe a jet. I could drive by and look at it.
That's so cool. Yeah, that's very cool. Yeah, I love I can see this one being on my list because I fly that little one all the time.
Well, big shout out to Jason Merkel, who likes to drop the information on Thursdays in case you weren't aware of it. It's in a micro ready to fly. That's why I didn't find it right off the bat. But Jason drops it, and then I convert it into a feature article, and then we spread it all around the internet, just like we're doing right now. So hey to Jason, who I'll be seeing at the Joe Knoll. The T-shirt, all that information dropped last week, but the T-shirts are in. I haven't checked to see if everything's being printed at this point, but I talked to the printer. I talked to High Tech, our T-shirt sponsor this year. That's all a go. And I'm sure I said it last week, but I had an idea that we put some sort of identifier in a shirt. And if you get that certain shirt, you win a charger. So not only will you get a free shirt, but you'll also possibly be entered for a charger. You'll know as soon as you pick your shirt up. I just have to figure out how to do that. I want to talk about AJ, who we've known since he was just a wee lad. It's probably not true. He's probably a teenager when we burst out onto the scene. But this is the new 61-inch Raven. It's going to soar to new heights with latest addition to the AJ aircraft family with unparalleled performance, with 2 new color schemes that are sure to turn heads. And so let's just take some.
Does look good.
It does look really good.
I dig that scheme. Yeah. I like the orange and black.
Yeah, I'm always a red anything, but the orange and black looks really cool. And I've got a link back to the site. I'm fairly certain this isn't on the site yet. I could be wrong, and things change by the minute, so you don't know.
Yeah.
But and sometimes I wonder, should I be talking about stuff that you can't buy yet? But man, I would want to know about it.
Know what's coming. Yeah, absolutely. For sure.
Here comes the Jason Cole segment.
What the heck, Wednesday? So yeah, 3D printed Boeing 727. This is you can scroll past. The crash doesn't happen for 3/4 of the way through. You can look at the segments there. Keep going. Look, see how it says installing wing assembly. They'll say crash. It's just a poor hand launch. Not enough flying speed. Keep going. Next one.
That is super nice, though. I mean,
it's cool.
Well, here's the hand launch. Yeah,
I'm tempted.
We got to get one. Let's go. We can't go straight to the crash.
Haha. Yeah. So, ROG takeoff.
Is this a Boeing aircraft? Is that the problem?
It's a 727. Yeah, that's right.
What is this? Oh, I like that logo. It reminds me of something.
Troy. Yeah, so you might want to skip ahead still. It's going to be some time. There it is. There. Boom. Here it is. Whoops. I didn't launch it hard enough.
You just heat that thing up. Be all right.
Well, it is interesting. He like is able to save the. I watched the rest of the video. He saves the rest of the tail section and just prints like the front 3 segments of the fuselage, glues it back together, and off you go.
I haven't tried that yet. I've not got anything. My buddy Lee Ray was giving me a bunch of guff about not having a 3D printed airplane yet.
Yeah, you've got the printer. Get it done, Joe.
I got to get it done, man.
Well, speaking of Lee Ray, I want to mention our friends at AMA Air who have a great video podcast, and Matt Ruddick, P.S. Good guitar player, our great guitar player and singer. I don't know if you know that. He's out there doing it.
Nice.
It's a hard thing to do, to stand up and apply your musical wares to the public. But they go over stuff just like we go over stuff, except they go over different stuff. So in this segment, it's the
free flight.
Yeah, the world champion indoor model aircraft free flight piece. Let's see if there's any video of them flying these things.
Is that still in Johnson City? I think they used to do it out there.
It's in the salt mines, but I'm not sure exactly where. That particular piece they did. They were talking about the salt mines. I was on that. I was actually on that in the chat.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So
that looks awesome.
Yeah, it looks like it'd be really cool.
Wow.
Man, I want a place there.
They really that podcast. I'm on there all the time, jabbing them in the chat and whatnot, because they're all good friends of mine. I got a story about Matt. I'll tell you too, but they got a new segment they've been doing where they bring stuff that is in the museum, and a lot of the pieces that they're bringing and showing are pieces that are actually in the museum. So it's like the archives. They're doing a really good job with that. They've really had some cool stuff on there that they've shown that were like in the back room type stuff. So, and I've actually had the opportunity to be in the back room a few times, and they've got a lot of cool stuff back there. Of course, they don't have floor space to show everything.
Yeah.
So my Matt Ruddick story, if you want to hear it, it's actually pretty funny. So a lot of people don't know this. I still have a full-time job with General Motors. I'm what they call a health and safety trainer. So I'm literally in Detroit, Michigan, going to school to learn how to be a trainer for all this stuff that we have to train, right? And I'm talking, of course, RC planes. At the time, I was talking about a review I was working on for rcgroups.com, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. But a guy in the classroom says, my brother-in-law just got hired by the AMA. And I don't know if you know him or not, but his name's Matt. And that's who that was. So, it's that whole 7 things of Kevin Bacon thing. It was like crazy. And me and Matt are good buddies now. So it was really cool to see him get started. The day he got started, I heard about it. So it was kind of neat.
That's pretty cool. Back when the profile craze peaked, there was a big push to get the first Billy Hell plane in the museum. And we really tried. I still have it, by the way.
Yeah.
I've got the very first one. And not a plane I made, but a plane that kind of made the whole Profile Brotherhood thing what it is, right?
Yeah.
And so I have it in the garage. So they didn't have room in the museum, and no one really wanted it anyway. But maybe now it's a part of history. So
yeah, I would actually love. I don't know. I'm sure you guys have been to that area. I would love to see them expand that museum because they have so much cool stuff that's not on the floor. It's just like going to the National Air Force Museum in Dayton, Ohio. They've got so much stuff they don't have space for that I would love to see them expand so they could get some of the stuff that's never been seen or hasn't been seen in a long time out on the floor.
Well, they're running out of land there to be able to build more buildings. There's just not enough space.
Right. They don't have enough space there at all.
The place is so huge.
It's huge. Yeah, it's huge.
I find it a little weird that there's a full-scale airport behind the RC airport because I have heard just personally from people who've lost planes and flown right over into the airport.
Yeah, they've got a really good relationship with the guy that owns that field back there. And if you fly back on Site 4 a lot, which with the scale guys, I fly back there a lot, they have some cool airplanes coming in and out of there. And now there's a lot of paramotors. Kyle, I'm going to mispronounce his last name, but Kyle Jasic with the AMA, he's the education lead. He's a big paramotor, and they're always flying their paramotors around. And there's just like Jason said, there is a ton of space out there. It's crazy.
It could really be a case study for flying, near airports because they fly out of there a lot. And when we fly our sailplane contest, we're right there in amongst the full scale airplanes taking off and landing and flying over and through our airspace.
And I might be
it's not a
mistaken, but
problem.
I believe they've actually used that as like, hey, we've been flying next to a full scale airplane in our
Yeah.
airport since we started this thing. So
Yeah, it's
with
never
no
been a problem.
incidents,
It's
no
not like we
incidents.
have to land. It's just you just
Yeah,
don't fly where the airplane is.
yeah.
It's
You
not
see the
hard.
airplane, you get out of the way. It's pretty
Yeah.
simple.
I want to tell everyone, if you go out there for an event, bring your allergy medication. I was in the hell one night, and they had a carnival or something, and I guess everyone was beating down whatever the weeds were in the pasture. I woke
Mm.
up at 3 in the morning, and you hear about this stuff, but I could not breathe. My throat had closed up on me, and I thought, I can't drive anywhere. I'll pass out behind the wheel. I'll asphyxiate. I got it, and
Got it.
I was like, I was really starting to panic, and there's no one there but me in the hell wagon. And I thought, what am I going to do? And my brain, thank goodness, said, you have something under your mattress. And I pull the mattress. I'm on the top bunk, and I had a 6-pack of whatever, and I took 3 of them and could breathe again. It scared me. I got an EpiPen after
Wow.
that. Scared me to death.
Yeah.
Wow.
So if you go camping like that, be prepared. Don't be like
Yeah,
me.
man. Yeah.
That's right.
Anybody that hasn't been to the National Flying Site, you need to make that trip. If you're into RC
Yeah.
stuff at all, you got to go. I would love to see them do like a Joe Knoll style event. I would love to see them.
That'd be
You know,
awesome.
I'm actually attending the National Fun Fly this year, which is going to be a lot of fun. I'll be there representing AMA and Legend Hobby. It's going to be a blast. But I would love to see them. You know, like for all those years they did those
XFC.
the events, like they did the conventions. They did all the conventions all over the place.
Right,
I would love
right.
to see them be able to do something like that at the flying site during flying season, so you could go to like a Toledo style event and go fly. You know, there's enough room for everybody. I mean, you
Right,
could have
yeah.
the jets, the sailplanes, the helicopters.
Oh yeah.
There's
And then
plenty of room.
one place just for demos. So the demos all take place in one area, and then free
Yep.
fly is over here, and
Oh, yeah.
electric fly is
Yeah.
over there.
I would love to see them get something like that organized. I think it would be a huge hit. It's a lot more centrally located, so I think if they could get it going, it would almost be more popular than say like a Joe Knoll eventually, because
It's in the
it's
corner.
central. You know, there's everybody coming
Mhm.
from all 3 sides. It would be
Yeah.
amazing.
You would think it would drive membership too. People go there, experience something like that, and be like, heck yeah, I want to join right now. You know.
Yes, sir. I believe that would be true.
Well, I'll tag the AMA in this when I put it on the YouTube, and maybe they'll love the idea, and they'll put you in charge of it. Mean Joe, it'll be great.
I don't need to do that. I got enough stuff going on.
Hey, our friends at CNHL, the podcast sponsor, have a sale going on. It's buy 2, get 1 free. I have links to everything that you can possibly save on, from 30% off price drops to buy 2 and get 1 free. And then I have links to all the warehouses. So big, huge thanks to CNHL, our podcast sponsor, and go and buy some lipos and save money. I mean,
Always
Joe, you
good to
said you were
save
going to
money.
buy some of those.
Yeah,
Did
I'll be
you,
checking them out.
Yep. Now, Jason, I saw this not on any RC news. I saw this out on just news somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. I mean, it's obviously a cool looking picture, but it's a drone that can autonomously go fly and then attach itself to the electrical lines, overhead electrical lines, and recharge itself. So
What?
it's not really like hobby related, but it's more like things you might see in the future: UAVs, self recharging for inspections, or
Yeah.
who knows what they would need to use it for. But basically, it can fly for the life of the pack that's inside of it, and just
Interesting.
I bet the
continuously recharge.
electric company might have something to say about that, unless
Yeah,
they're
well,
Well, it might be them that's doing it, because I know they use the drones to inspect all their cables and stuff. So that would be
Mhm.
like perfect for that.
great
That's crazy.
video. Let's see this thing do it.
Yeah, so it'll kind of fly up, and I mean, it's wild to see.
So all
Just
it
sit
has
there.
to do,
Could you imagine just driving down the road and seeing a bunch of drones like hanging off the power lines?
Right.
it would be frightening, really, if you ask me.
I've seen them do that from helicopters before. That's crazy. They get up there with the helicopters and do that.
Hold
Yeah.
on. Let's see the connect.
Those guys
here.
are nuts. There it goes. Grabbing it right up. Wow.
Wow. And those bands, I guess, grab the power. Or maybe it's that centerpiece right there.
Yeah, there's got to be something to transfer the energy.
Now, I know that I was looking at a piece of property where a lot of power lines went down the back, and I was told farmers could actually light up barns without electricity. The light bulbs could get the electricity off those power
Yeah.
lines and light up. But
I've
I
seen
also
pictures
read
with fluorescent lights. You can hold a fluorescent light underneath one and it'll light up.
there's also theories that causes cancer. So I did not buy that property. Theory was enough for me.
Well, there's that.
Very cool. All right, let's see what else we have. I want to move to this thing. I saw it in our blogs. I check the blogs every morning, and I was like, this is a finely crafted piece of work right here.
Yeah, I mean, this is something special. This is for a quadriplegic pilot who has to kind of modify the transmitter for accessibility and be able to use it. But they made this amazing looking transmitter from a Spektrum radio, and it's just so cool, and it allows them to fly and participate in the hobby even with
That's
the
amazing.
disability.
That's amazing.
He said he picked the gimbals because he literally slaps the sticks around, and these are the gimbals that could take such an abuse.
Yeah, aluminum versus plastic lasts longer. Pretty cool.
I haven't looked at the video. Oh, it's short.
That's very cool.
Awesome. And that's the spirit right there. We're going to end right here. Well, I don't think we looked at this FPV flies with drone. We haven't, so we're not going to end right there. But I do want to say this. This is last week's news, but we had a great interview. We talked about all the things that were a problem, and we talked about all the solutions. And he stood up and said everything that he felt like was an issue. And I really resonated with the users who are excited to see a new dawn of Hobbyking.
Yeah.
What do you think about all this? I mean, Joe,
I think it's awesome. I think they had some great stuff in the past. I know those guys were doing a pretty good job, and then they just kind of faded away, I think, for a little while. I'm excited to see somebody new in there. Hopefully they can get back to what it was. You know, me, I'm always trying to build a hobby, and we just were having this conversation the other day. There was some stuff printed. I don't want to get into the debate, but there was some stuff printed in the AMA that there was some people complaining about. And I'm like, we're all in this together. It doesn't matter what you're doing. It doesn't matter if it's our foam, ready to fly, plug and play, kit build, drones, cars, whatever it is. We're all in the same hobby. And this kind of stuff, to me, helps grow our hobby, because Hobbyking is able to offer so many different things, and pretty much they covered every aspect of the hobby that there's ever been is available there. So I'm glad to see the new guys taking the reins. Hopefully they'll be able to get it back.
If you didn't watch it and you're thinking maybe I will, but I don't know, basically what happened is Hobbyking sold in July of last year. I was aware of that immediately. They brought in Richard as the VP, and he used to run RC Battery, but before that, he was the guy who handled all the batteries at Hobbyking. And I ran a lot of Hobbyking batteries back in those days. So I've spent 4 years dealing with Richard almost on a weekly basis. So I know him really well. And Stuart's still on with them. And there's a lot of positive things to take from the interview and be hopeful about.
Yeah, 100%.
Good to see it.
All right, we're going to end up on FPV drone flies with full scale XCub. This is a Jason Cole special.
Man, this was so cool. I saw the video and I was like, I've got to share this. So this video is segments from a bigger documentary style video that was created, but this is all the drone shots, or the best drone shots. But that's a real manned Cub. That's not an RC plane. So he's chasing around. They had all of the proper waivers and permissions. This was done legally before anybody gets up in arms about it. But it's really cool piloting on both the FPV pilot and the show pilot there in the Cub. It's just gorgeous footage.
That's amazing.
I'd want to know that if that thing came through my prop, that my prop would disintegrate it. That would be the one thing I would care about.
Yeah, and this is a pretty good sized drone too. They're carrying a I can't remember the name of the camera, but it's a decent size mini cinema camera. So it's not like a GoPro. This is like interchangeable lenses, real deal FPV drone.
Kind of like the old Inspire setup with the big camera on the bottom.
Similar, but I think it's the Komodo
Okay.
proper cinema camera, but as small and light as they can get it on a big big FPV drone for what we consider FPV.
Is he
dead stick? Dead stick. Yeah.
Dead stick, yeah.
It's like, is this a camera?
And like the sound design in the video, if you go watch this, like turn up the volume because it's awesome.
Very cool. I'm gonna have to check. I saw the article, but I didn't have a chance to sit and watch the video yet. I'm gonna have to check it out.
It's worth a while to watch that for sure.
Man, the stuff they're doing with the FPV drones is really starting to take its legs. Like, I don't know if you guys have followed like the National Air Force Museum. They've been doing a ton of videos. Of course, now they do the micro race there, but they also have been doing a ton of like video of the airplanes and stuff that are inside the museum, and it just amazes me. The footage they get is just awesome.
Yeah, it's becoming more prominent, like especially in the professional cinematography world. It wasn't very useful, a while back, and you only wanted the nice, stabilized, smooth shots. Right. And then now you're starting to see some of the professional racers and stuff do, get hired for these FPV jobs for movies, like the movie Ambulance. If anybody's ever seen that, there's so much FPV footage in that movie. It's just fun to watch as an RC guy.
Well, look at the stuff Evan Turner's doing. Evan Turner's been flying for ESPN, doing stuff like NASCAR races and stuff like that. That stuff is just super cool.
It's so amazing to see someone be a kid, get in the hobby, and then now they're doing that.
Yeah, those kids are. If you follow the Turners, man, those kids are nuts. They're a whole nother level.
It makes me feel like a giant slacker. I'm like, how did I not get in on that?
I mean, Evan does all that, and then he plays cello, and he graduated with honors and all that stuff. Plus, he owns his own FPV company. I mean, and he's like 20, I think, something like that.
Yeah, having fun.
AJ and all those guys.
Right, exactly.
Super talented and just out there really doing it. It's awesome. Congrats to all of you for sure. Well, Mean Joe, thanks for jumping on with us. And today, we will not have a Mean Joe episode this week, but look for it next week. We'll get together and figure out when and how. And it should be fun, simple, and I don't think these things, I don't know how long they'll last, tell you the truth, but stay tuned for that. And Jason Cole, who knows what he'll be doing out there. Woo. In fact, much of what he does, we can't even talk about because it's under wraps until giant companies tell us that it's not under wraps. So.
Waiting for some good weather. Go get some footage.
If your camera would just fall over, we would know exactly what's going on. All right, everyone. I want to thank all of you who join us each week. Be sure and share the video. RC News, there are a few places out here that do what we do, but not really exactly what we do. So if you're into the hobby and you want to grow the hobby, I'm leaning on you here. Not only hit the subscribe and like, but also share the video and try to broaden the footprint so we can get all this out there. And once again, look forward to Mean Joe next week. And Jason, thanks for taking time out of your busy day to hang out with everyone in the RC world here.
Oh yeah. Have fun. Go fly.
RCgroups.com, RC News. Thanks to our sponsor, CNHL. Go buy their lipos. Bye.